Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is going to be for Invincible, why you should be watching it before these final 2 episodes. And I'm here tonight on this Sunday evening to talk all about this series. We're going to start out with no spoilers, so if you haven't seen this show or read the comics, you'll be safe for the first little bit. We'll be very verbal and warning you when we switch from spoiler to spoiler. If you want to share some spoilers in the comment section after the video is posted, please do, but please label that stuff so people are warned coming up ahead, because there's a lot about this series that I don't want to ruin, but there's a lot I want to talk about why this is an awesome series. Now, a couple weeks ago, Joe Dirty Locks was on the show, and he very rarely does this, but he decided to call out the topic for the show. He challenged me to come out and watch this series, almost with a cocky attitude of, I know you're gonna like this. I know you're gonna fucking like this show, dude. I'm gonna make you watch it. He knows my love for shows like the original Justice League and all the DC animated universe stuff, which basically this uses the same exact kind of animation. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same animation studio that works on this show.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely close.
It's definitely goddamn close, and it's also a lot of the same voice actors. We're gonna go through the voice actor list later on in the show, but it's a lot of the usual suspects of the people that you would know from those universe, from the Tim universe. Lex Luthor from Clancy Brown's all over this series. There's a lot of other people that pop in. Mark Hamill's in the series. I believe 2 parts Mark Hamill plays. I know one for sure. There's another one.
Mark Hamill's in this?
Mark Hamill plays the guy that designs the suits. I believe he's
the suit designer.
He's the suit designer, which is weird because he's not doing a Joker voice. He's doing like a regular laid down voice.
Mark Hamill is just great. I love him as a voice actor. But again, you know my shtick about voice acting is it really acting?
Yeah, but with Mark Hamill,
is it reading with inflection?
Both could be true, but
no, I'm not going to belittle anyone's career out there. I would love to be a voice actor. Give me a job.
Exactly. Joe's just jealous, and
I am so jealous. I want to stop getting punched in the face for a living.
So this is just such a well-produced series right from the beginning of the series when it opens up. And I'm not alone tonight. I have
Am I wearing these glasses? Great. I'm wearing like the fucked up glasses, my wife's glasses, Kate's glasses, right?
Mine.
They
were yours, and I used up hair, and you ended up taking that hair from me too.
So Joe's hoarding glasses. Someone in the live chat, Steve, says the voice actor for Robot is spot on. And people don't know, the Robot's actor is none other than Zachary Quinto from Heroes and Star Trek fame.
Again, didn't know. See, I here's the thing. Like I knew Steve was in it. I knew Ham was in it, and I was like, sold. Let's watch. I didn't even know that. You
know who Omni-Man is, though. I mean, Omni-Man's the obvious voice actor.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Vern Schillinger.
This dude's been on since Oz, right?
And in fairness, this part, and we'll get all into this, but there's a lot of voice actors, and I don't want to spoil anything. So right off the bat, also we're not alone. The live motherfucking chat is with us. We got Big E, we got Changa, we got Corey Mitchell, we got Jake, we got Steve H, we got Forrest, we got lots of amazing the Bloody Talkers in there. Miss Duncan the Tall also popped in. I want to get I want to get the non-spoilers over with, because very easily when we start to talk about these characters, we can fall into spoilers from the first episode. And if people haven't seen it, again, I don't want to be responsible for that. This show is a show that sort of throws you for a loop right away in episode 1. So if you have not seen this, go out and watch at least episode 1 and then come back and watch this podcast after the point that I give you the warning. But leading up to this point, it's a well-produced animated series that is right in line with the Amazon superhero stuff that they're producing. Is it the same thing as The Boys? No, it's not the exact same thing as
and it's not the same thing as The Tick, and it's not the same thing. Right?
But they all have a feeling, a vibe about them that fit in, that they're all coming from the same network, and they're all amazingly high quality. All 3 of those shows. I didn't even think about The Tick, but The Tick as well. Like all 3 of those shows kick ass in different ways, and they do have especially this and The Boys are completely different shows. This show takes itself way more serious than The Boys does. The Boys is more of a crazy out there comedy, not like like a dark comedy. This is.
Oh no, I don't think this takes itself way more.
I think this takes it more serious. I think this show takes it. Wait till we get into spoilers, but I think this show does, from the subject matter and the way it's presented, is in a more of a comic book universe, but it's more dramatic than The Boys, where The Boys is funnier. This show isn't as funny.
No, I disagree with this.
Okay, so
with this assessment.
So hold that.
It's not that I'm not saying you're wrong. That it's not dramatic.
Both shows are amazing. Both shows are amazing.
I feel like The Boys is something very different.
Very different. They're completely different. Like, The Boys are more of a commentary series, and that's why I'm saying it's more comedy. It's more taking a look and deconstructing superhero. This is more of just a fucked up superhero universe.
No. That's pretty fucked up superhero universe, dude. That's a pretty.
It's more of like a modern universe.
This is okay. Yeah, this is.
I don't want to talk too much about that show.
The Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
This is what you're saying over maybe a bunch of other.
I just don't want to spend too much time dwelling on the differences between the two.
This is a great show.
They're both great. They're both great shows.
So here's the thing though. I also, as much as I like this show, I find it a little boring.
That's what I'm telling. You're almost making my point in the sense of where I feel it's like more drawn out and more dramatic at times, and more long form storytelling where where again I'm not comparing it necessarily. Where if we're making that comparison, I feel like we should do a different show all on that particular subject, or a short video on that subject. But let's just say it's another great show by Amazon with a pedigree. I'd say there's more of an analogous representation between two characters that we'll talk about later, rather than the shows themselves.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying there. So. Fuck it at this point. Anything, great show, watch it. If you haven't watched it already, watch it, then come back and watch our podcast or listen to us if you would like to get into it more. But from this point on, let me play the fucking the issues song here. This song means it's time for spoilers. Whenever you hear this song, it means from this point on in the podcast, it's time for spoilers. And if you don't want... You will be spoiled of things that have happened on the series already. Again, we're not going to be talking about projected comic stuff or anything like that, just things that happened on the actual series. And everyone in the live chat, it is drawn just like Young Justice Changa. It almost looks exactly like that style of animation. Yep. And
anybody who likes that kind of animation is going to like this, and anybody who likes The Boys is probably going to like this.
Right. Okay, so
if you like both, you're going to love this.
Now, let's get into this. And again, I haven't read the comics. Joe hasn't. I do know slight comic spoilers, but we won't be getting into that stuff tonight. So if you haven't got into that, and as I said, feel free to share that stuff in the comments, not the live chat, and just label the fuck out of it if you want to talk about that stuff after the video. So the first episode really sets the standard in the sense that makes you feel like you're in one of those, for me anyways, those DC animated universe kind of things. Like it's a normal, basic universe that you're in. Normal-ish things are going to happen. Yes, she calls her son an ass.
Oh,
I am this enemy. And that's one of those weird things about the show, or interesting things about the show. It has such intense, crazy, well-shot visual violence going on. And some serious subject matter when it gets into sort of interactions with characters. But then the villains are so cheesy sometimes, hilariously over the top.
Even the heroes have been completely cheesy the whole time. All right, now I'll save them. All right, now you go do this. Like that whole intro in the first episode, right? Like it's very cheesy, and the villains are very cheesy, and the brain guy was very cheesy. Like all of it is very, very just that cheesy comic book vibe. But what is exactly missing from all of those comic books, instead of bam, pow, whap, zing, or any of that kind of shit. You have like blood splatter and heroes getting really
Right. So
this was the evolution of like the late 90s, early 2000s, right? Like even maybe like mid early 90s, 2000s, where they really started to like draw comic books to be more
graphic.
Yeah, to be graphic novels. And this is this is to TV animation as to what those comics, those graphic novels back
Joe.
then were to the comic book industry.
Joe, and that's what I mean.
This is a game changer.
This is
really,
a game changer,
right? Because like
100%.
even like the Yu-Gi-Oh, no, not Yu-Gi-Oh, but like the
Yu-Gi-Oh,
what are the Dragon Ball Z?
Yep.
There's no bloodshed. Like One Punch Man.
Yep.
Shit, like no bloodshed. I don't think, not to like this extent. There's more
and not presented in a mainstream way like this show is. And also, it's been a fine line for years about these kind of DC animated or other straight to
none of the Batman have blood like
right
this.
or if they do, it's very partial. But I also think part of that is the presentation of this that makes it so amazing, and to your point, makes it freaking like a game changer, because so many of these shows or these types of movies have been all audience kind of productions where adults or children can kind of watch it and get into it. This show, right from the start in this first episode, that's why I think it's important that they did that big thing that they did. And again, we're in spoilers, when Omni-Man kills the rest of the Justice League at the end of the first episode, very graphically, and shows you it's a different kind of show than you're actually watching. The show is presented in no way for anything other than an adult audience. And it's also not funny. And I know what you're saying, that it does have comedic moments, but it's not presented in an over-the-top, crazy adult comedy way like some other adult comedy animated stuff is presented.
I haven't
in the
really
way.
found anything that's made me really laugh.
No,
burst out into laughter.
Right, there's one or two funny.
There's not much comedy.
No, there's not at all. And if it is, it's more naturalistic, real kind of comedy from a setup of like a real world situation rather than, or the comedy comes from seeing what superhero or supervillain they're taking a piss out of, or they're doing a representation of it, whether it be Spawn, whether it be the RoboCop one at the end of this last episode, or what's her name being Adam Eve being Scarlet Witch, or the Superman, the Batman, the
Mary
Flash.
Jane drama that's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I can't let her know who I am, but like I keep disappearing.
All of that stuff, and the way they lean into those conventions, but do it in a way that is so interesting and different. So I agree. It's like the whole series of itself is a game changer in the kind of entertainment that we can get. Not to mention all the over-the-top, gory, amazing violence. Let's read in the motherfucking chat here for a second. Oh, Miss Duck in the Tall, it's great to see you. Mona says,
I was looking at Steve H's comment.
What is they're dragging their feet on why Omega took out his team. I know the robot was in on it.
I don't know. I know nothing. That's why I'm looking at that comment.
That's why you're going.
I have all sorts of speculation of like what was he thinking, like
Omni-Man, I mean.
Like like in episode 2, or I believe, he's talking to his young son, and he says, I left Vitramite planet and I came here to be Earth's
protector,
soul protector, hero. Like,
and
hey, that says it all right there.
People don't know. We're going to be going over voice acting as well throughout this, but Cecil, who is the old man, the head of the defense organization or whatever, that the voice actor that does that is
Tig's girlfriend.
Walter Goggins.
Goggins.
Cecil might be in it too. You still making songs and playing those? You bet I am, Broken Halo. It's great to see you, and great to see you in the chat. It's been a long time, and great to see all of you guys in the live chat. Chenga, I don't feel like the Earthquake guy was wrong. I kind of liked him. I like the Earthquake bracelets. That was one of the funnier, if we're talking about unconditional comedy moments, they're funny in like the way Spider-Man talking shit is, because Invincible is a Spider-Man-ish, like the way he talks is
because he's a kid.
Because he's a kid, and then his friend. There's some comedy but again, it's naturalistic comedy. It's not comedy based on like over the top situations. Oh no, Steve. Whatever. I knew exactly. I auto-corrected in my mind. But it is great to see you. I used to be known as Tyrion Lannister Jr. I can't forget your live streams when you all got wasted with the vodka you had in your freezer. I do remember that. Derek says, I'd say its quality is more HD and better than Justice League, but honestly, the walking animations need to work. It's like Adobe Flash or something sometimes. If you have read the comics, there's a lot of twists, says Corey Mitchell. Later, he said, this isn't your planet to conquer or something with the alien invasion. So when we get those alien dudes and he goes into their world and beats the crap out of them, he specifically does say to one of them, it's not your world to conquer, which I do think was an interesting line there. But I do think the relationships that they set up in this show are great. I definitely do you wish in any way you got to know the actual Justice League a little bit better before
yes.
they got killed?
Yes.
Do you think there could have been a couple of you wouldn't have minded
half a season? I wouldn't have minded.
But I
wouldn't have minded like a Flash episode, a Fishman episode, Wonder Woman,
Wonder Woman, Hawk Girl episode. But it's hard.
Hercules episode.
It's hard. It's difficult though, like because I agree with that, and then I overthought it. I listened to a couple of other reviews or people's topics. Someone else brought this up, so I'm stealing this from somebody, but. They almost had to do that at the end of the first episode because the alternative, if you do like a regular
it becomes a ripoff of the Justice League.
Or the wrong audience gets on it. Like you end up having kids actually watch it, or by people that think it's sort of the normal show. So you almost need to show in that first episode, by the end of the first episode, how fucked up.
You can show other fucked up shit.
I guess.
There's lots of other fucked up shit you can show. Right? Like, come on. Like, there's, I don't know. Like,
well, we got Mel LF.
I think they could have made it a point to show that it's an adult show just by having like people smoke pot in the beginning,
right? Or
something. Like would make parents say, okay, no, kids can't watch. My kids can't watch this. You know what I mean? Like
the pups went full mountain versus a Viper on that one. Basically, the new genre of comics that superheroes are dicks, and we got Mel LF in the chat. Been a long time, Mel. Great to see you in the live chat with us. Peter Griffin says, I trust in Omni Man, aka Pups. The Guardians were probably a threat to Mark. Something like that. Or maybe because he feels like Mark's there, he doesn't need anyone else's help in fighting certain threats.
They should be father and son only.
Yeah, they should be Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Now we can join together as father and son and rule the galaxy together. I don't know, maybe there's an element of that. I kind of like that I don't know too much about what's going to happen in the comics, and I'm left to speculate. If people don't know, I'm sorry I didn't set this up at the beginning. This is based on a comic series from 2002.
Oh wow, it's almost 20 years old.
Yep, and it's
like this is one of those graphic novels, one of those in that like 5 to 7 year period of like. Hold on, I gotta.
He's got to top it. And this has also been a movie. Seth Rogen, who produces this series, and one of the only other similarities besides Omni-Man and Homelander analogous situations, Seth Rogen produces both series, The Boys and now Invincible. He's been trying to get an Invincible movie made for a while, and he does one of the voices on the show as well. He does the voice of the alien character with one eye. I forget the character's name, but that has the conversation with Invincible in space, and Invincible he's like, "Oh, I'm at the wrong planet." Yeah. That was Seth Rogen.
He's the one that makes sure that the Vitramites can still protect their planet.
Exactly. And
see, he must have known that dude would be coming. Oh no, he was early.
He was
supposed to be there.
There's more. I bet that character comes back at some point in time. I mean, especially, and we also got Michael Dorn in a quick little cameo part, kicking almost destroying as he was one of the thugs for the robot head. That's again the second to last episode where we had the guy with the stone body where Invincible came into the town and he got jumped by the by the war dude with the hammer and shit. And
Invincible got fucked.
he got
up by
fucked
him.
up, and that was the voice of Michael Dorn, where he's like, "There is no honor in defeating little peasants." That was
He
that was
just came
Worf.
in and fucked everybody up.
Changa says, "I think he's making room for his son to be the big superhero, and he wants no competition in his league." Corey Mitchell says, "I could live without the high school stuff, though. I understand why it's there, but I could still live without it." Peter Griffin said, Seth Rogen was that Mars alien who fought Mark and was supposed to go to Earth, not Earth. Great to see Tim F in the live chat. Rogan must have fought Omni-Man before because Pup says he's pretty easy. Derek says Rogan's character, that alien with the one eye.
Oh yeah, he fights them all the time.
It's what was the character's name? And what's interesting, and I don't know if this is and again, as I said, I'm going to be mentioning voice acting throughout the series. I don't know if this is on purpose, or if it's just a funny sort of nod. All the voice actors for the original Justice League or whatever they're, the Guardians group at the beginning that get killed, are all, or mostly here, are all voice actors from The Walking Dead, or all actors from The Walking Dead. Yeah. We got Lauren Cohen as War Woman. We got Chad L. Coleman as Martian Man, Michael Cutlass as Red Rush, Lenny James as Darkwing, Ross Marquand or as the Immortal, which I'm not sure, and then what's her name, Burnham from Star Trek as Sasha as the Green Ghost. So a lot of cameo stuff, and they all get killed at the beginning for his new series. So this is a Robert Kirkman series. That's what I meant to say. 2002 and a 2002 comic book, which maybe could have influenced The Boys that came out in 2007. I don't mean to keep bringing that up, but The Boys was written, I believe, in 2007. That comic came out. So I'm sure at least the idea of Homelander might have been inspired by Omni-Man, because I'm not saying they're the same thing, but they're different takes on evil Superman, and I like that. And I like how you can have two completely different characters. They're not the same at all, and I would say Omni-Man scares me a little less because he seems a little bit more balanced, and he seems like he has a plan. He's not just sucking the milk, sucking the milk out of out of like a fake Elizabeth Shue, and he's not fucking batshit crazy like Homelander is. But that's scary too, But I think Omni-Man has whatever it is. I think he has more of a plan, Joe.
Well, Omni-Man, as far as we know, was raised, appropriately for how Vitramilians or Vitramitians or whatever the fuck vitamins.
The V's
are so.
Peter Griffin says Rick Grimes will probably be in season 2. Let's not forget Reg. Changa, thank you for saying that. I must just spit out my liquid for that. There's an amazing sort of thing that they have in there. Reginald Val Johnson, who is in Die Hard and Family Matters, plays the principal of the school, the character that looks exactly like him. And the name of the school is something that's a reference to him as well. It's like, what was his character from Family Matters' name? It's like the school is named after him. So he's playing the character in the school that's named after him. And I guess in the comics, the character looks exactly the same. And so it was just one of those like perfect voice acting casting. The same thing with Omni-Man. We mentioned it. We talked about it at the very beginning, but I wanted to pause on it to not get too spoilery with it. But J.K. Simmons is a fucking national treasure as an actor. As everything he's done from Oz, as J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies, and he's done a million other things too. Whiplash, everything he's in, he's awesome in. And this might be one of his best roles since Vern Schillinger, to me, anyways. I know Joe's about to shit on him somehow, but I fucking love...
I'm not about to shit on him.
I'm
not about to,
It's called Winslow High School or something. He is one... I'm not saying he's, a star in every movie he's in, but he is... First of all, they drew this character...
Capable.
He's more than capable. He's one of the main reasons Oz is amazing, as that fucking horrible, awful character. He makes those Spider-Man movies, those Tobey Spider-Man movies. He's the best character in all of the most consistent character in all 3 of those movies is J. Jonah Jameson. and as that portrayal of that character from the comic book. And as a voice actor, he's done so much amazing work that you don't even realize. And now this might be his, and I know you're going to shit on this because you're not as big of a fan as I am, but this is his BoJack Horseman. This is his like voice acting job that he is bringing to that next level. Don't give me that fucking look.
This is his BoJack Horseman? Whose BoJack Horseman is BoJack Horseman?
Job there. The thing that breaks him, that gives him like a deeper voice animated role, because I think he can do so much with this depending on where this character goes, and really, I don't know, do some of his best work. J.K. Simmons was amazing in Whiplash. He makes that movie. It's a decent movie put together, but J.K. Simmons makes the movie.
Which movie is Whiplash?
Whiplash is the movie where J.K. Simmons plays like the drumming teacher, and
I didn't see that.
It's a good one. But yeah, Oz is amazing.
You can play better.
Yeah, he's like, that's not my beat.
I saw Drumline.
Yeah, Will Arnett, Joe. Will Arnett is Job's name.
Oh yeah, that made Will Arnett BoJack Horseman.
I think it did. I think you can shit on the show.
way.
You can shit the show all you want, but I think that's some of the best acting he's ever done in his life, and the only role that takes him out of Job for me, because he plays a much more like
he's Job on
Arrested Development.
Yes, okay.
And it's the only role he plays more of a deeper character to me, rather than that same sort of over-the-top comedy role he plays in that movie. And I think, in a sense, J.K. can take this role as this voice actor and do some amazing things with it over the course of where this character could go. Playing another, because I think he's an exceptional bad guy, and he doesn't get to do it often, because when he plays things in movies, he's mainly a nice guy, but in Whiplash or Oz, he's so good at playing an asshole or a fucked up person that I'm really excited to see where this character goes in the next couple of seasons in this role. And
like I said, I'm not shitting on the guy. I think he's a good actor. I think he's more than capable in everything I've seen him in. I do enjoy his performances. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. You're not going to see a movie based on him
because he's in it.
Right.
Correct.
That's
like precisely why I have not seen
Whiplash. But you're missing out. He's one of those guys that I see why that you feel that way about it, but because he's not a star maker kind of performer, but I think he's
like Bob Odenkirk. I'll go to see one of his fucking movies.
You want to give a 5-minute spoiler-free review of
No.
Other than telling people to go see Bob Odenkirk's movie.
Go see that shit.
So the character of Invincible, this is another Walking Dead alum is playing the main character. And it is Stephen Yeun as Mark Grayson, Invincible. And I didn't even know it was him. He's the one I had no clue, because he does such a great job playing a teenager that it just doesn't.
I have a tough time picking. Like, he doesn't have a remarkable voice. There's nothing like. It's very hard to pick out. Like, I could never tell you that was Mark. Like, oh, that's Glenn. Nope, I never would have fucking guessed it. Like there's some voice like Ving Rhames, you know that voice. Samuel L. Jackson, doesn't matter. You know it's him talking. Adam Sandler, you know it was him talking. You know what I mean? Seth Rogen, you know it's him talking. Stephen Yeun, seven seasons I watched that motherfucker. You know, like, I don't know it was him. I'm like, what?
And it's been
I haven't seen him in anything in a while. But.
It's been a great year. I mean, I believe he just got a Oscar nomination for a movie he did this past year. That I haven't seen it yet. I think it's called Minari.
Yeah.
Nominated as the Academy Award Best Actor. So it's been an awesome year for him in the sense of a nomination like that, and then being a part of this show.
Speaking of Oscar-nominated things, I'm not a big that shit don't. There's a short film that was Oscar-nominated that Katie and I watched. It's available on Netflix called Two Perfect Strangers, done by one of the Daily Show writers for Trevor Noah.
Does it star Balky Bartokomous and Cousin Larry?
No, it's it's a little heady, but it's a Groundhog Day piece.
Ah, cool, sweet.
But it's got subject matter to it, and it's got some feels in there, and some laughs, and some and some like, yeah, what?
Now,
What?
now Mel
Yeah,
asks a
it's
question.
good. And it's only like a half hour. Short film nominated for an Oscar, so you might
Sweet.
want to check it out.
No, I will. I'll try to check it out. Mel asks in the chat, does Invincible have the same kind of dark comedy as The Boys?
Yes. I'll
Yeah.
say yes. No.
No.
There's no real dark
No.
comedy involved here. Like right from the beginning of The Boys, when Chicky gets fucking exploded and dude is left shaking. That is both funny
And
and
fucked up.
absolutely fucking horrific. Now, when finally at the end of the first episode, you know, shit goes down and Victor wins the day, yeah, there's nothing funny about that moment. There's some like, fuck.
And they drop them,
Yup.
dude. They
Moments,
drop the music in that scene too. So it's like all you hear is the sound of the cracking in the flesh. I would say that the main similarity it has between the two shows, because it is something that's going to come up. They're both on Amazon. They both are they both have dark versions of Superman in it. I think the shock element is similar, but the tone is completely different. That's probably a better way of saying
and
it.
even if you've seen Snyder Cut or even the theatrical release, you've seen Superman versus the Justice League already.
But this is
right?
better.
But this is different because this is final.
And realistic. And more realistic.
And nope. I'm still going with the only person out of all of them that could take care of
dude.
defeat Flash, or that could defeat Batman or Superman is the Flash.
That's because the Flash in the comics can do that, like, punch you through time punch, where he can just like sort of just hit you once and send you back like 20 years in time or some shit. But like, okay, I want to talk about that fight just for 1 second. In the final episode, in the final part of the first episode, the Flash fucked that fight up, because he should have stayed. There's no reason why he had to go in and engage him. They tried to distract him for a while. Their Flash, you saw it in that very first fight. His best use is Red Rush is as a support unit, taking people out. And if he had just done that, the Immortal guy, and just pulled him out of the way and allowed him doing the punching and then work defense the whole time, that fight was over once the Speedster was gone. Once Omni-Man crushed the Speedster's head, the group didn't have a chance. If the Speedster had been alive and sort of been able to maneuver around a little bit, they could have maybe subdued him.
The only and that's what this guy is not the Flash, right? Because the Flash not only can move at that speed of light or faster than, but this is very important to know. He can move his molecules so fast that he can move through walls and through matter, like it's not there. Therefore, Superman cannot grab him. You can't grab the Flash. You can't lay a hand on him because he can phase so fast. He phases out of existence for those seconds, like, and continues to punch you everywhere in your body all at once.
I mean,
now, Superman can move pretty fast, and time slows for him too, but not to the extent that Flash
and
does.
in fairness, we can only talk about that kind of setup as much as we can. I mean, only so far, because this is Red Rush versus Omni-Man. It's not necessarily Superman versus the Flash. Each one of them have different powers. Superman's fueled by the sun, all that sort of shit. Superman has the X-ray vision. Omni-Man does not have X-ray vision. We don't know how fast Omni-Man is in compared to the Red Rush. And when he talks about the Red Rush later to his wife, he's like, "Yeah, he's real fast." But he doesn't build it up in the same way that some people talk about the Flash in the comics. Like, wow, he doesn't realize how powerful he is. I've heard Superman or Batman say that in the comics about he doesn't realize what he could do if he just took it serious. You don't get that vibe from the Red Rush,
because he's got so many other things that he's trying to take serious, get his dad out of jail.
And to Changa's point, so could the not the Martian Manhunter, because there was actually a Martian, but the green girl could have phased, but she was emotional in the moment, and they had her
Yeah.
freeze in that moment. Scout Teeny in the live chat. Invincible is amazing. I love these adult cartoons. Changa, that's one of my favorite parts when he slings Batman dude on the ground and like empties out like toothpaste. It's brutal. It's such a horrible moment because
You love Batman so much. And that's what I've always thought about, like the Batman Superman fight. Ultimately, if there is no kryptonite involved,
it's done. And that, honestly, Joe, I love Batman a lot, and it was fun to watch that, though. It reminded me a little bit, and I hate to keep bringing the fucking show up, but it reminded me a little bit of the Daredevil Homelander fight in the second season of The Boys, when they're trying to try out the new members of the teams. It's not an obvious joke, but there's a character where Homelander's
he's blind.
He's blind, and Homelander just goes whoosh,
yeah, smacks him in the ears,
and his head explodes or some shit like that. It's
his superpowers are now done. He's got no more he blew out his fucking ears just like that.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit. That was a little bit of that kind of moment, like what would really happen in this situation.
And all of them actually kind of were like, right? He grabs the Flash and all the punches to the chest. It starts to dig and he starts to bleed from it. Like, it shows exactly how much power that Red Rush guy has. But ultimately, pop.
Yeah, but the minute he died, and when he engaged in too much, the fight was done for them. She got her brain phased right out of her head, says Chega. Yep. Oh God, it was a bad situation. But up until that point, there's so much stuff that sort of gets built up where you can see that Walter Goggins' character is building stuff because he knows, as well as Spawn's character, he knows.
Anybody that is a Superman, he's got the Batman nightmare visions, right? Anybody that is Superman can take over the world, and he knows that
he's ready. Yeah,
race of these fucking people that sent this dude here. He needs to get ready for
Walter.
that.
Yeah, that's where Amanda Waller, Walter Goggins' character there, whatever. You can just see that, like, and I think at the end of the last episode when he takes the tech the RoboCop tech that really does a great job against Invincible, he's like, this shit could almost kill you. Or in the episode where the dude with the glasses, we see the giant sea creature and he's like, this is the first thing that gave Omni-Man a real fight, and he goes, put it on ice, we might need it later. It's
what? I don't remember that.
It's one of the post-credit scenes of, I think it's episode 4 or episode 5.
I might have missed the post-credit scene.
It's in the same episode where Omni-Man's like, he goes home and he like he's got the thing on his back and then he throws it on the table for his wife to cook. He's like, oh, here's a piece of an alien. And then they flash over to the gigantic, huge alien that he beat.
I missed that shit. What?
And he says, and then the guy with the glasses that works for Walter Goggins' character is on the phone with him, and he's like, "Oh, this is the first thing that we've ever seen give Omni-Man a fight." And he goes, "Put that thing on ice. You never can tell when we might need it." So there's definitely, like, he's definitely in play and knows what the hell's going on. Yes, one of them had their head twisted around Exorcist style. I think that was the Wonder Woman character. Once he broke out of the Martian death grip thing, when they were just beating the pound of
the pulled his fucking eye off?
Yep.
Was that his eye or his heart? What the fuck was that? He just like... it's fucking gross, man.
Oh yeah, it was a Koju or Keiju or whatever, and he talks about grilling the tentacle. Yeah, thank you, Chega. Chega's on it. Chega's watched it all too, and great, just such a great series. Corey Mitchell says it very well. Omni-Man is kind of a dick, where Homelander's a douche, and I will also say Homelander's crazy.
No.
Homelander's crazy.
Homelander is. Yeah, no. There is some definite sociopathology going on with Homelander because of the way he was raised. B, he knows there is no equal to him. The guy that is playing we're not talking about that.
Yeah, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about.
I could talk for hours.
That's going to be a different. Honestly, when this season,
that show is fucking.
It's the best. It's one of my favorite shows on television, and this show is awesome too. And so I don't want to get into a that versus that sort of situation, but like
they're great in. Okay, You know, the Avengers shit is great. The X-Men shit in the early years was great.
Good. Yeah.
Because and
Was that I'm not going to talk about Sansa Stark as Jean Grey look.
So and the the Boys is great. Umbrella Academy is damn good. Right? Like, this is great. But they are all
Would you
very individual to themselves.
Yeah,
like,
I haven't
they're
seen
all superhero shit. Yeah, great, wonderful.
But I
they're
like
all
where
very
we're
different.
at, where superhero stuff is played out. You need these kind of series to break up the monotony of them.
Well,
Because
this is the truth of it all. Like, just because you're super, like, there are super villains, right? Like, all of these superheroes have their super villains, and their super villains are exist for a reason. So having flawed superheroes isn't beyond the realm of. It doesn't mean they, like, in the Boys, so to speak. All of your heroes, except maybe one, are
Starlight,
flawed,
yeah.
right? And then, but in this, all of your heroes except for the one are true heroes.
Seemingly, yeah. Seemingly, they also. That's what I was saying sort of at the beginning. I don't know if I said it clear enough. For the most part, this world is just another interesting, unique superhero universe, like the DC universe, like the Marvel universe. This universe, I don't know the name of it.
Fits into one just like
right.
those. Like, what is that? The symbol they have up in the top of the comic book. Even though this has the violence and the sex,
but that's just
but it fits the universe
exactly.
That belongs with that symbol.
And that is one of the unique qualities to this series compared to some of the other superhero satires or superhero breakdown series that we have.
Really, those fit more in a reality realm.
Right. This is a comic book universe.
Metropolis.
Exactly. This is an actual comic book universe that is deconstructed in a really interesting way, and for the most part seems like a normal stuff with just excessive graphic violence and themes that are more geared towards modern day adult themed drama rather than satirical comedy where I say something like The Boys. It does have some crazy stuff, and I haven't seen Umbrella Academy, or Doom Patrol is another show that I know gets talked about.
Doom Patrol is that's a show that's really good, but this
but is it enough?
Really
I haven't watched it, but would you I've heard they're not all the same, but would you put them all in a drawer together? You know, like all these kinds of shows, they're deconstruction, different kinds of takes on the superhero genre. It's just different.
I think it's
awesome. I think they're all different and they're all awesome.
It's refreshing is what it is, because
it's not the same old bullshit.
It shows that there isn't this black and white morality, or this black and white book of law, or this black and white universe. It's this very colorful gray mass of just, people and what they think they need to do to live their lives. And when you have a superpower that goes along with that, doesn't mean you're going to be any different in how you fucking live your life. If you're a piece of shit, you're going to be a piece of shit that can burn holes through people's heads with your x-ray vision, right? Or your laser vision. If you're, a super fucking... If you have a cock that can grow, 30 feet and wrap in a... Right?
Mr.
Like,
Fantastic.
break walls, or... there's a...
Yeah, I know.
But or if you're like a Vitromite who's sent to conquer a fucking planet and scope it out and send a report back or some shit. Yep. I don't know.
Chenga asked, would you recommend Doom Squad if I've never watched it before?
Yes, and I'll tell you why I recommend it. Season 1 has so the actors in it, if you like the guy from Firefly / A Knight's Tale, I can't think of his name at the moment. Tudyk, something Tudyk, Tudyk. I forget his name. Alan Tudyk. If you like him, he's in it. Pierce Brosnan is in it, and Brendan Fraser's in it, and a few other people. Alan's second wife from Charlie and Alan, there, two and a half men.
Yep.
So Alan's second wife from that show is in it, and she's really fucking good. If you watched White Collar, the guy from that, I don't know his name at all, he is in it, and it's a real interesting take on, they have these abilities or mutations or powers. I'd say it's closer to an X-Men, right, than it is to a Justice League or anything like that. I like all the actors. If you like any of those people that I just mentioned, then you're really going to probably enjoy this, especially if you like superhero genre shit that has flawed humans as characters. It's definitely interesting. I happen to think it's not something I would put out there as a great show that everybody should watch, but
you happen to really
fucking love it.
Cool.
I really love it, but I'm never going to tell anybody. You really need to, like I told you, you really needed to watch Invincible. I didn't tell you you really needed to watch
No, or like I tell some people you really need to watch. This is why I wanted to do this one, because I want to tell people you really need to watch this show if you like these kinds of shows. It's if you enjoy just base superhero shows in general, and you grew up with Justice League, Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, all of those shows. If you grew up with that when you were, a teenager, your early 20s, whatever, and you're an adult now, and you sometimes watch the DC animated series movies that come out, and you're like, this is pretty good, but I wish it was like a little bit more adult, a little bit more pushing what you want. This is made for you. This is literally made for you. This is literally made for you.
Everything you wanted Batman animated series that you watched on Fox 25 or whatever
was it UPN?
On whatever channel. What's that?
And I'm trying to remember what channel. I think it was on
whatever channel
56
it was
or
on. Like, you remember The Dark Knight was on. It was the
WB.
first like teen oriented Batman, not child oriented Batman on television, or late teen, early young adult rather.
This is the logical conclusion of that.
Yes, and this is what we're gonna get next, I believe, in a Batman series. This is what Snyder wants to give us, or wanted to give us, for the Justice League, Nightmare Universe, and things like that. This is where he wanted to kind of go with some of that into this darker, more humanistic realm, rather than just this gods and humans, but like these gods are flawed like humans.
Well, I am really glad that we have this series leading into it. So if you are into these kind of ones, I would definitely recommend this. If you like the Boys, or like The Tick, or like Doom Patrol, or Umbrella Academy, and you like, or Deadpool even, and you like superhero stuff being broken apart to a certain extent, you might not get as much of that as you want out of this, but I still think you'll be able to appreciate this.
But what you got to understand too is this is very much that Spider-Man show as well. That Justice League cartoon.
Yeah, the villain of the week shows up.
It so is, and it taps into that. Like, I'm a 45-year-old man, but that's the shit I watched until I was 45.
Yeah.
So
and now you're
taps into like that childhood part of me.
Now you're watching a brand new show of it that's amazing, and you're like, this is edgy, and it's an edgy show. It's not something to watch when you have kids around, because it's language and violence, which is awesome, but it's not a kid's show in any way, shape, or form, which is fucking awesome. And before we start to wrap up the discussion of the series, I just want to go through the whole voice cast list to see anyone else we missed. We got Steven Yeun as Mark Grayson, Invincible, as we mentioned. Sandra Oh as Debbie Grayson, the mother, who does a great job too in the series, especially being someone that can challenge J.K. Simmons' Omni-Man character. And one thing that I have read that they changed about the comic, they've enhanced her character, given her more to do in the way that she's sort of in on the investigation and figuring out what Omni-Man did. Following up when the Spawn character disappears. Spawn character is amazing. Very
Spawn character.
Yeah, the detective.
Oh, that's not Spawn.
Yes, it is a Spawn character. It's Spawn in The Question combined into a character. Absolutely. They send him to hell. He's a demon from hell that escaped hell. What the fuck?
No.
Not Spawn.
No,
Hellboy.
no.
Hellboy. Whatever.
Okay.
Spawn. Hellboy.
Okay.
Fucking.
Okay. Not Spawn.
Okay,
Not Spawn.
fine. Hellboy.
I'll give you Hellboy.
Hellboy question something.
Question. Who's Question?
The Question is a DC animated character that's like detective, a conspiracy theory kind of character.
100%, Joe. I am 100%. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, he doesn't need to know what you're. Yeah, he doesn't need to know what you're talking about. That's Joe's favorite words right there.
Yes, dude.
That's all he that's all he wants to hear. Wait, I think I have it. I think I still have the Joe is always right thing here somewhere. I might have deleted it on purpose.
Do you know how perfect this world would be if that was like how everybody felt?
But I definitely liked that character, the detective, and I believe that was the character that Clancy Brown did the voice of, who does the voice of Lex Luthor in the original Superman animated series cartoon. And that's one of those voice actor kind of crossover things. So here's where any more that Joe didn't know, we'll sort of catch up on some voice actors.
I don't know any. Like, you go down the list and go slow, because not only will I not know which character you're talking about,
you're not going to know the actor's
show
name.
We're watching. I ain't going to know the name of the person.
I know. We're gonna have to
do this slowly.
Let's
do this slowly for everybody.
And I'm gonna say this in like terms that you might understand with certain characters. That might just be a little bit easier to go through. So let's get into some of these are repeats that we've already talked about. So we do.
Oh yeah, but we're gonna go through them all.
Okay, so our first three we already talked about. We have Steven Yeun as Mark Grayson, Invincible.
Our main character.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Steve Yeun is, he was Glenn on The Walking Dead.
Exactly. An actress from Grey's Anatomy and a bunch of other shows and in books is the mother, Sandra Oh, and the
Sandra Oh. I have no idea who this actress is. That doesn't help me. Is she an Asian lady?
Yes, she was in the thing I know her from is Grey's Anatomy, and she's in a lot of high school stuff.
She's got something like big on right now too. Recently too, no?
I believe
I have to look her up. I'm not sure. Exactly.
She also did a lot of voice acting. She was in She-Ra. She was in Robot Chicken, the newer She-Ra. She's done voices on American Dad. She was on
okay, yeah, I know. Okay,
she was on 6 Feet Under. She was on
6 Feet Under. Yep. Okay. Yep. I know who she is.
Yeah. She's been on a lot of stuff. She was in Sideways. Mel LF says in the live chat. And
Sideways.
She was in our list.
Sideways. Is that the one with Johnny Drama's older brother?
I love how you call him Johnny Drama. You mean Matt Dillon?
Matt Dillon, yeah.
I love how you call him Johnny Drama's older brother. Victory!
Don't put that hat on the bed.
Keep that hat.
Johnny Drama's older brother. I said so.
It's so fun. I forget where I was or what I was doing. I might have even been a shady evening talking to random people on an app or something like that. And I made some reference to keep your hat off the bed, and they actually got it. And I was so excited.
Nobody gets it.
Not anymore. It was more of a 90s thing.
No, even then, nobody would have got it either, Phil. I tell you. I had never heard that reference. I hadn't even seen that movie until after I met you.
And that was I guess it was
a big movie guy.
I guess it was more of my group of friends at the time movie. And Drugstore Cowboy was the movie that I'm talking about. Okay, and then
which is absolutely an amazing,
Beautiful
fucking
movie. Beautiful movie. And of course, not the star of the show. The star of the show is Invincible himself. And I like how every time they're getting ready to say the word Invincible at the beginning and the way the credit crowd comes off.
They stop and they put up the.
Yeah, I like that. I love it. I love it.
It's perfect.
It's a small little touch.
Oh, he calls himself.
Bump. Invincible. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
I got the perfect name for myself.
Bum, 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 bum. It's perfect. It's so stupid, but I love it. Okay, so we've talked a lot about him, but the main actor not the main actor, the Omni Man, Nolan Grayson, J.K. Simmons, Vern Schillinger. Okay, so the Guardians of the Globe, we already mentioned all of these. The new roster, the new group, Robot, played by Zachary Quinto. If you don't know who Zachary Quinto...
I see. Okay, now his Zachary Quinto.
You know who Zach... But
it's from Heroes.
Heroes. He was also on 24.
He's also Spock.
He's also Spock, yes. He was also on 24 briefly, but he's mostly known, right, for Sylar or I guess mostly known for Spock.
Spock now.
Spock,
now it would be Spock. And here's the thing.
His mother named him Sylar. I'm going to call him Sylar.
I saw him in a couple other things recently, or at least one other thing recently. And I had this, okay, now, I thought I thought season 1 of Heroes.
He was great. He was great. He was
one of the most perfect superhero shows ever.
Single season. I agree with you. Spoiler for Heroes. And I mentioned this a lot. We've talked about this a bunch of times. Until the point where Hiro Nakamura sticks a sword through Sylar's heart, ending at that point. If it had just faded at that point, and that's the end of anything you ever saw from Heroes.
Sylar is dead, or they just left him dead.
And then the next season, we're with completely different heroes.
Yep, and new stories,
new everything,
or whatever. Right, like. It could have continued as great, but they kept him alive. They TV troped you through the fucking off season, and it killed the show for me immediately on fucking arrival. Anyway, I didn't really like him so much as the main villain. Now, as Spock, as Leonard Nimoy's Spock, because that's how those movies are designed. That is fucking William Shatner's James T. Kirk, that fucking Christopher Pine, what's his name?
You're right. That's his name, Chris Pine.
Okay, not Pike. Right, Christopher Pine is portraying. Right, like but he's What's that?
I was gonna say Pike's his superior officer.
Right. It gets me fucked up sometimes. So Christopher Pine is playing William Shatner's James T. Kirk in his view what that character is. And who it is, right? And they all are.
He's sure trying. He's sure.
And they all are. They all are.
So is the dude from the dude from The Boys is playing Bones just to complete this.
Yeah, exactly. I am saying they are fucking amazing. J.J. Abrams, right? He cast that shit perfectly.
Almost. There's a couple of things I could get nitpicky on.
Bones is brilliant. Fucking, I think Kirk is brilliant. I think Nimoy is brilliant. I think they're all. Anyway, I digress. Everything else I've seen Quinto in.
God. You met
on it. Stop forcing this motherfucker down my throat.
Hey, Muhammad.
That fucking good at shit.
He was Sylar, dude. But I hear what you're saying. Like he's someone that gets packaged in as like this is a great actor. Here you go. We got Muhammad in the live chat. Great to see you, Muhammad. Hopefully all is well. We also got the Iron Throne in the live chat. Hodor.
Hodor.
So then we have an actress from Community and a comedy series Love. Jillian Lauren Jacobs playing Adam Eve. I have not watched Community yet.
Why have you not watched Community of all the
because until recently it wasn't readily available. Now it's on Netflix, so I keep almost starting it.
Now here's the thing. Katie was always a fan. I watched an episode here or there and liked it, but because of work, I never really got to see it. Man, we watched. I was like, we're gonna start watching this. The shit is awesome for at least the first like 5 seasons.
Cool.
For
No,
the first few seasons, anyway. I don't know how many seasons.
I look forward to it. It is a show I definitely am giving a shot to.
You're gonna enjoy all the actors.
Hey, I have such a television crush on what's her name on from Glow, and I know she's like one of the main stars of that show. Right?
Oh yeah, dude.
So yeah, Changa says Community is so good.
It is Changa. You are absolute Changa, 100%.
So
again, you are 100% Changa.
Dude, we're gonna have Changa on at some point in time. Maybe after
they are everything.
Maybe after I binge watch Community, we'll have Changa on for a Community discussion with you and stuff.
Dude, the Community is great, man. Community is a really good show. The dynamics of all the characters are well played.
Now,
right down to the fucking creepy ass Dean.
Now, speaking of creepy people,
you would know the Dean as Moby.
Oh, is not Moby?
As not, yes, Phil.
Good job. We're stuck at not Moby's party. From How I Met Your Mother. Yes. Okay, so the next actor that what's your opinions on Rexplode? Do you enjoy the character of Rexplode on the show?
Oh God, I hate him in almost everything. Okay, he's
Jason
awful
It's Jason Mantzoukas is the actor's name.
He's the worst part about what's that animated show, Big Mouth? He's the worst part about Big Mouth. He's the worst part of that cop show with with that fucking amazing fucking dude, football player / hilarious motherfucking big ass muscle guy.
I love your descriptions. We're
I can't think of his fucking name.
And Mandrell, well, we got Mandrell in the live chat too. Great to see you, Mandrell. Lots of love to you, buddy. And we got to watch The Expanse first.
He's awful
in
that football fantasy football.
The league.
He's awful in absolutely
wait.
Just about. There's a movie he's in where they turn that house. Will Ferrell turns his house into a casino.
Yep.
You know what? He's fucking awful in it.
Joe,
like,
I
can't understand why they are forcing this guy. Now he might be a good writer, but as far as putting him on screen, I feel there's so much about him that is a turnoff for me that I can't. Lines that should be funny, things that should be funny, are not funny.
So Joe, what I can say is you are a Jason Mantzoukas fan.
I'm not. You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of some asshole from one of the towns next to the city I live in.
Do you know that he is actually? He was.
I actually do know that fella.
He was in my. He was in my cousin David or my cousin Gotti's grade, and he was in the. Indirectly, he's at fault for me playing bongo drums because there was
he probably got a job from that other fuck that was from around here.
No, he did. I don't think that's how he made it. I think it was a different way. But Mantzoukas was a drummer when I knew it. Like back in high school, like he played drums in bands and stuff like that.
Here's the thing. I can tell by
and Changa says Terry Crew in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Terry Crew. Oh yes, he is an amazing fucking artist too. By the way. Anyway, he's actually one of my heroes, Terry Crews. But Mantzoukas, there's something about him. I can tell he's probably a really fucking cool guy to like, and
that helps.
Like, I can understand that, like, there's a lot that goes into networking and when you meet people in that industry, right? So like if you're a cool person or a good person, you're gonna get more jobs than if you're an asshole or a dick to people that you meet all the time, most likely. He's probably a great writer. I don't know what his writing credits are like and shit like that, but I just don't necessarily enjoy his. He has zero range, right? He plays that same thing every time, and it kind of it's the asshole, right? That
Yeah.
you know, and
Wisecracky.
it's supposed to grate on you, and I guess he does that well.
Yeah, my favorite part of his performance in this character was watching him get his ass kicked by the
Everything.
by everything. Oh, we've got a couple of
He gets his ass kicked by everything in this. He's got like
yeah. How did
I
he
don't
make the team?
understand-
How did Gambit make the team?
right? How did the robot pick half the people he picked for the big team? Why did they put it in the robot's hands? Like, all right, B team, we're gonna leave it up to the captain of the B team to pick the new A team out of everybody who's
Do you trust the robot, Joe? Because the robot's up to some shady shit with those brothers and stuff. Like what's he doing
like
with
he
the?
broke him out of jail,
And he's like having them clone something. What the fuck's he cloning there?
that's dude. We saw him take
DNA from somebody, and then he gave it to
and I forget who, but who did he take it was very obvious. They made it obvious, and they didn't like hide who they took.
Was it the
girl,
monster girl, right?
I thought it was the monster. It was either the monster.
So he's
girl
cloning Monster Girl.
Maybe I thought it was because he's in love with Monster Girl, and Monster Girl, if she keeps using her powers, is going to turn into
Monster Baby.
Monster Baby,
and then it's going to be real.
Maybe if he could put Monster Girl into Monster Clone as Monster Old Lady.
Right, so he can always like Raz, Raish, Rush, whatever you want me to call him, Ra's al Ghul, that shit, and kind of just have put her into different bodies, like keep cloning her every time she gets too young and back into an older body or something. Maybe that's what's going on there. He's definitely up to some shady shit with those brothers.
Well, here's the thing. What I was wondering about Monster Girl, who
Mandrell says he might want to clone himself. Maybe there's some weird shit with him cloning himself because they are seemingly, maybe he's not really a robot. Maybe he's a human underneath there and like very small parts, like almost like an Ultron shredder sort of situation. Because
maybe he's a Vitramite.
Because the other dude, the dude with the suit, when he's in bed, he calls me. He's like, "You have kind of too many emotions for an android." And someone else calls him on that later in the show too. At some point where they say, "You seem to care a lot for a robot." So maybe he's not a robot.
Maybe. I still think it's the Monster Girl. But so how did Monster Girl get old? Is she Benjamin Buttoning right from the start?
No, she said she was.
Was she born an old person?
No, she said she's 22 years old. She probably didn't get her powers, didn't manifest until she was 22.
So why did she's reversing in age?
She is Benjamin, but every time she changes, she loses a week of her life. Or she becomes a week younger.
Powers just disappear until she grows to be like 22 again.
Or she just would have to stop. She would have to have some sort of way of just not turning into
stopping. Yeah, okay, I can't be on the team anymore. I can't.
Or they build her a mech suit like they did with Bruce Banner and when he couldn't turn into Hulk when he had the Hulk impotence for half a movie there.
Yeah, the Hulk didn't want to come out
for
some reason.
No, Hulk
I'm
no
sorry,
play.
I'm sorry. It was fun seeing the Hulk Iron Man suit.
Yeah,
the suit that can take out take out the Hulk.
The Hulk Buster. Yep.
But
no,
I'm
Joe.
Sorry, that was absolutely
Hulk no play.
Fucking stupid.
What's interesting
the
about
stupidest Hulk shit ever.
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite part of that movie.
And I still love that.
Oh, it's still great.
As far as I'm concerned, the Hulk is the most powerful in the universe, isn't he?
When he gets angry enough.
Or now it's Fire Hulk.
When he gets angry enough. Okay, so Jason, enough time on Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
Then we have I'm not sure, playing Duplicate. I think she's an actress from Nickelodeon's shows, Elizabeth Melis Zhao or something. I think she's an American actress and singer known as roles in the Nickelodeon sitcom Unfabulous and Lucy Stone in Nickelodeon's Big Something. I'm never going to watch it. Then we've got Gray Griffin, who does the voice of the shrinking girl. and she's an American voice actor, comedian, singer-songwriter roles. She's on Vicky from The Fairly Odd Parents, Samantha from Danny Phantom, Mandy from The Grimm. So another professional voice actor that you've just heard her voice in a million things if you're an animation fan. Then we have Carly Patton as Black Samson. He's an American voice actor and film actor known for voice characters as Cyborg across various films, Aqualad and Young Justice. A voice that you fucking know. Like you've heard this.
Know the voice as soon as you.
And I love that he's playing the veteran character like that because he's just a guy that's been in these animated stuff forever. And he's getting his powers back. They've all but. It's all but obvious that somehow when they defibrillated him
last episode, they shocked him back into his
powers. They Pikachu'd his powers back. So so he'll be Pikachuing his electricity by the next episode.
What's wrong with us, dude?
And Mandrell, they're doing an amazing job animating this show. I'm loving it so far. They really are. We were talking about.
Okay. No, so they do an amazing job with animating the show, but what is with the crotch shadows?
Oh, I'm gonna get that. Hold that thought, Joe, because it's not just crotch shadows; it's also ass shadows.
Yes,
Mandrell
said. The ass.
Mandrell said I read the full story in the comics, so maybe I should shut up before I spoil something. But you're doing a good job walking that line, Mandrell. And yes, Joe. Sorry. I just wanted to get his full comment in there. But I agree with you. The animation is great. It's top notch. I've been watching these animated series since the beginning and watched, this kind of, I love 2D animation. This is 2D animation at its top form right now, but the ass shadows are very noticeable. Like,
yes,
very.
And both once. So I noticed the ass shadow first, like you said, and then the crotch shadow. And now all I can know every time they're walking anywhere, or you see them from the front or the back, all I can look at is the ass and crotch shadows, Phil.
Yeah, it's weird. It's this it's sort of this dark shadow that puts this like a triangle on everyone's butt.
In crotch, like that does not exist in real life. Yes, I look at a lot of crotch and ass, but
Joe's an expert
because there's a fucking a two-tone difference between.
Yeah, Joe is an expert at this. He's looking. If you walk, he's looking. No matter what.
If you are assing or crotching, I am looking.
Exactly. It's his job to look. That's what he does for a living. Let's listen to. We got a couple of voicemails from an old friend.
It's not like I'm the only one looking, Phil. You saw the ass shadows too.
Oh, I did. I couldn't help but notice.
Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga.
Nice, it's good. We got the Ooga Booga back.
Ooga booga.
Good to see you, Ooga Boogas. It's been a long time, buddy.
Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga.
Thank you. This is how we know when it's great to be back on Sunday evenings, getting a lot of our old friends popping in that we haven't seen in a while. We even got Ooga Booga guy who's a very big fan of Invincible. You can tell in the way he's Ooga and Booging in.
Ooga booga. Ooga booga.
That means he likes the episodes of Invincible so far. And I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning. There are 2 more episodes this season for 8 total. Yeah, only eight episodes. So
I want 8 from you.
Yeah, they only get the 8, but hopefully it hasn't been.
It was already fucking drawn.
Hopefully, if
only wanted 8.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man? This drives me nuts. Okay, so. Now, I'm going to say this. I should have said this, why you should watch this show, but also why you should wait for the entire first season.
I fuck you for making me do this with 2 weeks left. Yeah, fuck you for making...
For 25-minute episodes.
40... No, they're 45 minutes.
Are they 45 minutes?
Yeah, they're long. They're actually long. They're 45-minute episodes.
Okay, even still. And then... you're going to go ahead and make me wait a fucking year to find this show again.
Yep.
And the only reason why I'll think about it is because over the next year, I have the Umbrella Academy to finally find and watch again, and Doom Patrol to finally find and watch again, and The Boys to finally find and watch again, and then back around to this. And there's a big problem with that, especially when you release a show like this
Is this
on
gonna
a
make
weekly basis.
is this gonna make you go out and seek out the comic and want to read that? Is a year
Yes.
gonna be too long and you're gonna go out and get the comic series and finish it within?
I'm absolutely going to do that. I'm probably going to buy if there's a compendium.
There
because
is.
Now that you've told me that it's
There
so
is.
fucking long ago that this shit came out.
Yeah.
I'm buying the compendium for it, and I'm gonna read the whole fucking.
I believe the whole
story.
story has been told. I believe there's
Yeah.
it's complete and all that sort of stuff. Fair Mares Rangers. That's no Disney ass there. Making the A. Jenna trading is rough work. I know how Luke felt. We got Celebrity Bikini in the live motherfucking chat too. And okay, so let's get through a couple of more voice actors, and then we'll start to wrap things up tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Sunday night to talk about the show Invincible and just babble in general about the state of fucked up, awesome superhero shows on television, and really why you should be watching Invincible, and if it's your kind of show. It's not going to be a show for everyone. The violence on it, it's not that it's too much fat. It's just the way it's done in some ways. You're either going to love this shit or you're going to be like, oh my God, this is that like that horribly fucking horribly violent cartoon shit. Like I could see someone really not liking this series too. But for me, Joe was right. It was perfect for me. This is my kind of show. And I've loved every minute of it. So I think we did talk a little bit about like the reasons why, like what kind of shows, if you like certain kinds of programs, if you're a fan of all that DC animated universe stuff and you grew up with it and you have a modern day sensibility and enjoy shit like more modern action kind of stuff, like something like even John Wick or the Bob Odenkirk movie that came out, like stuff that's really knows how to shoot violence and fight scenes in a really almost believable, even in superhero worlds, like this, so that you actually feel it. You know, this show does that exceptionally well. And if you're just a fan of over the top adult animation, it has those kind of moments too. So to go through a couple more of the acting, that's mainly our main original team. We already went through the original voice actors for the original group of Justice League, whatever, all the Walking Dead people. Then we got Walter Goggins as Cecil, and we got Chris Diamistotopoulos. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Chris D, a Greek-Canadian actor. He's best known as Russ Hanneman in the HBO series Silicon Valley. He's also in the Three Stooges movie and Finn in Good Girls, and the voice of Mickey Mouse in a couple of things. So both those guys do great on the Global Defense Force. Walter Goggins, if you don't know Walter Goggins, not just Tig's girlfriend on Sons of Anarchy towards the end, also was on the Shield, is also on the HBO series Vice Principals with Danny McBride. Amazing on Vice Principals. If you've never watched that series and you're a fan of Danny McBride, you like Eastbound and Down and that kind of stuff, and you haven't given Vice Principals a chance, definitely give it a shot.
Walton Goggins is...
He's amazing.
So I talk like I just did about, I don't even remember the dude's name that we were just talking about that I shit on a little bit there.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Yep, that's the one. In getting rammed down our throats, I've talked about like Charlize Theron getting rammed down our throats. I've talked about other people getting rammed down our throats. But anyway, Walter Goggins has been rammed down our throats. This dude has been acting in Tombstone. He's in fucking Sons of Anarchy. He's in this. He's in The Unicorn. He's
always in something, yeah.
Navy SEALs thing. Or SEAL Team 6 or whatever the fuck it is. He's in... You went over this. The dude is fucking amazing. He has a vast range that is very underutilized by the people in charge. Probably, I don't know.
No,
many reasons.
I agree. He's a very unique kind of talent, and he can do a lot of things. And I still think he
looks like an everyman too.
He does, but he also has high, like he could play a killer.
He could play a killer or a lover.
Or a lover, or a comedy sort of character, or...
Widowed dad.
a suburban widowed
Yeah,
dad.
he could do so many different kinds of roles, and I think his big breakout's still yet to
A
come.
transvestite,
Yep, and
transsexual, the most beautiful love story ever told on television.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think Sense8 has some very beautiful love stories.
Up there, but fucking.
Sense8 is the best television show that's ever been made. That's not ever been on television. But.
So, Fairmare says Pulp Fiction of animation. Mel, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to start to wrap things up pretty soon, but thank you, Mel. Have a good night. And
You're right, Mandrell. It's not enough. And good night, Mel.
It is definitely not nearly enough. So we talked about the original characters. Some of the other quick characters that pop in, just a couple of Clancy Brown, as I mentioned, as Damien Darkblood. We got Kevin Michael Richards as the Mahler twins. Kevin Michael Richards is he's just another one of those voice actors. He's a voice actor. He's distinctive, deep voice. Has played characters in animation.
I don't need to really know who the voice. Just these voice actor guys
Mark Hamill again plays Art Rosenbaum. We don't know
what
that.
What else has he been in?
Marshawn Ali, who plays Titan, is.
You're not even gonna give Mark Hamill another Some people might not.
Okay,
know
Mark Hamill
played
the Joker in Batman the Animated Series. And
what else has Mark Hamill been?
Mark Hamill was in he's done a lot of video game voice work. He's I'm trying to think of anything else he's done besides it. Wait, Mark Hamill was in
It's the only thing anyone would actually recognize.
No. I mean, he was definitely
the fucking guy from.
He was definitely the Joker.
Recent commercials with
the recent commercials with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, he's in those
with Captain Picard.
He is. He's with Captain Picard in a movie once. He was in a movie called Sleepwalkers in 1992 in an uncredited cameo. He was really good in that. He was in a movie called Sushi Girl in 2012. He was in a movie called Slipstream in 1989. He's most famous for that.
Look at you, IMDb.
It took me a bit. But no, he's for fucking Star Wars. Give me a fucking break here. We all know who fucking Mark Hamill is. And Mark Hamill, but he finds a way into this series. We also have, as I said, Marshawn Ali, who's just been in a million things as well. Keeps popping up in superheroes. He's going to be Blade coming up. Cottonmouth in the most recent season of True Detective, the third season, which I don't enjoy quite as much as the first, but definitely is still a good one. Derek says the Joker's voice in Star Wars and crap if you're not trolling. As always, you have knocked out of the park with another great show. The content you guys provide. Steve H., you are fucking amazing, and thank you for everyone that's checking this out at any point in time.
Yes, thank you.
We do appreciate it. We have a lot of fun, and it's, as we have said from the beginning, it's more fun with you guys here. Joe and I would have this conversation alone, but being able to have it with you guys keeps us coming back to have a great time here. So a few more things here. We got Ezra Miller as D.A. Sinclair, who plays the Flash in Joe's favorite movie in the world, the Snyder's DC Justice League. Jonathan Groff is in this as well as Rick Sheridan, the guy in the last episode that gets turned into RoboCop. And if people don't know who Jonathan Groff is, he was in Glee as Jesse St. James, but also in Mindhunters, the main actor in that show, Mindhunters. And if you haven't watched Mindhunters on Netflix, watch it. Great show.
Yeah, I enjoyed season 1 far more than I enjoyed season 2.
But both seasons are good.
Still really.
Yeah, and it was setting up for an amazing season next season if the show didn't get canceled. I think that season 2
got canceled.
Yeah, it got fucking canceled.
How did they Mindhunters was all you heard about after season 1, and then season 2
too expensive.
Too bad it's done.
Too expensive.
That's why they canceled Sense8. Fuck Netflix in there. It's too expensive.
They did it to Glow. They did it to Glow too, and they even approved Glow for a final season, and then they turned around and said, "COVID, money, we can't do it."
Oh, go fuck yourself, Netflix. That's bullshit.
They wrote the scripts. They had filmed like an episode and a half of Glow, and they pulled the plug on the cast. I feel so bad for them. They did a live stream because they were already signed up to do this like charity live stream a few weeks.
I want to fucking ditch Netflix just for that shit. Just for that tired, lame ass excuse, because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna take that same exact money and throw it at another fucking crew.
Yep.
And another production, and it's gonna be the same. What are they gonna lowball? Like, okay, you got this great thing you want to sell us, but you know, Sense8 cost $100 million an episode,
and Santa
cost us 900.
Santa Clarita Diet is another show that they canceled as well. Like there's
because it costs too much, or because
there's a great I because
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it
because it cost too much, and it was a great cast with an expensive cast is what it came down to.
Is that just their excuse to always say it? Just
no. Sometimes they cancel it because it's poor ratings or it doesn't have an audience. But the shows I'm mentioning, there's a few more. They definitely had strong audiences and were near the high, but they had high end casts with high money, so they can't pay Timothy Oliphant's salary that keeps rising or Drew Barrymore's salary. They just
I don't know why that motherfucker's salary keeps going up. He's decent.
Anyways, let's jump in. I just want to finish off the chat here.
Decent.
Volt Spirit, I just arrived and it's over.
She's fucking horrible.
But I'm happy to see you guys in show.
Everything she's ever been in. I can't comment on the show you're talking about. They're both on that?
You can't. Yes, they're the stars of that show.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen that show. I can't comment.
You're such
on that,
a douchebag.
He's all right, and she's fucking horrible. So it might be a good show.
It's a great show. It's been 15 years. It feels like I've also heard Katie back there. Vol Spirit, it's so great to see you. Justice League was great. Cardio Ski. Joe and I did talk about that at the end of one of our Walking Dead podcasts. We both definitely enjoyed the Snyder Cut a lot.
Oh, it was fantastic. I can't like my boy Jimmy Boy up in Canada there in the Newf. He in the Labrador, Newfoundland. He says you should watch, after watching the Snyder Cut, right? You should go back and watch the theatrical release. Now, this is not as an attempt to get through the theatrical release. It is just so you can laugh your ass off for the first 20 minutes.
Or
and then turn this shit off.
Or
and go watch the Snyder Cut again.
Or I highly recommend, and I know you haven't watched these guys, Joe, but you would love them if you did watch like Red Letter Media break apart the original theatrical trailer. So you don't even have to watch the fucking actual movie. Justice League was great. Harrison Ford got the role after Star Wars. Fuck Netflix, says Iron Throat. Celebrity Bikini, I think you've had enough, card. I liked Glow. Me too, Broken Halo. Joe and I are both big fans of Glow and would have liked to see it conclude. It's not the most amazing series in the universe, but it's a solid, great, fun series that deserved to finish its story that it had. It had one more season. Netflix approved it. It was going to happen, and then they pulled the plug on them to save money in the last minute after already ordering the final season. That's some fucking horrible bullshit. But anyways,
things about that show that I need to say is its chemistry of cast was it was very special. Like,
yeah, it brings it above the material. Like
yes, like in that aspect, it elevated it a little bit more. There's some shows like that out there, and another show that chick is in, Community, is one of those shows. Also, the Terry Crews show that I can't remember. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Thank you. Is another one where the chemistry of the cast that is on the show elevates all of the material, the jokes, the writing.
Yeah, no, I would say, and I would,
that makes it better than it should be by any rate.
Even though Scrubs is a well-written series, I feel the same way about Scrubs.
That's one of them. Yes,
Scrubs is like the chemistry that cast has. Makes it even better, and that's what continues to make the pod. Like JD and Turk do a podcast together now, and they go through every episode, and they're real best friends in real life. And the podcast is the most amazing thing in the world. You know, it's just as wonderful as you want it to be. They sing the theme song together. It's a great feel good kind of podcast. The two of them hanging out. Yes, Vol Spirit, Red Letter Media are god. They're probably the thing They're
We should do a podcast with them.
if they would like, yes, we should. You're right. They would. I just want to have I just want to have a podcast.
I'm gonna want to talk to Turk about fucking Clueless.
Oh, you're talking about JD and Turk. I was talking about those guys. I'd love to do a podcast. I thought you were talking about Red Letter Media. My dream thing would be, those of you that know Red Letter Media, my dream situation is to get Joe and Rich Evans in a room together to watch bad TV. Or have Joe get invited to a best of the worst. I don't even want to go. I want Joe invited to the best of the worst. Anyone,
what is this
I'll talk to you about.
shit?
I'll talk to you about it off air. They're a great time, Joe. They're a great time. Changa, I love their.
Are they biting my style?
No.
Is someone over there biting my style?
No one's biting your style,
Is he
Joe.
getting ragey on me?
No, I would no different
Are you
sort of
throwing
thing.
me in a room to get ragey?
No,
with someone?
maybe. I just want to put you and Rich Evans in a room together and see what happens.
Who can throw the worst venom?
It's different things. It's different things, but the result would be hilarious. I have a feeling. I love their podcast. Yeah, Changa, JD and Turk's podcast. It just feels fucking incredible. Yeah, exactly, Vol. If Joe and Rich would just be like, I don't even think I wouldn't. None of those other guys would go near us, but Joe and Rich would just get together, get along very, very well. So a couple more things before we finish off, because Jonathan Hamm as Steve, as Joe mentioned before, is in there too. Regeland Vell Johnson, as I mentioned before. Justin Rowland's in there. So
who's Justin Rowland?
Justin Rowland is the voice of is the Rick and Morty co-creator, and yeah.
Who does he play?
On Invincible? He played the frat.
He plays everybody in Rick and Morty.
Yeah, he played he's the Trey Parker of Rick and Morty. He basically he played the frat dude at the beginning of episode 6.
The first one that gets fucking snatched.
Yes, and I think he plays the second grave robber, other than the kid that we knew from the first 2 episodes, at the end of the episode. That's going in there and going, I read in Reddit, if we drink the immortal's brain juice, we live forever.
Ham's stepson.
Yes, exactly. So I think he played 2 characters in this particular episode.
And John Hamm is in this, if we didn't get to that.
Yes, John Hamm, who is one of the most hilarious people on earth, beyond the fact that
Dude, with fucking severe crazy eyes.
He is crazy. And
Katie says he has some of the worst case
of the crazy eye.
eyes.
He does, especially
Not dead eyes, but fucking crazy.
Are you like, I really love the show, but I can't remember if you like Mad Men or not.
Oh, dude.
It's one of the best series from beginning to end. Not that it's the best series at has
so
the highest
much
highs.
about that
What
show.
I mean by best series is from beginning to end the most consistent series.
And it keeps you engaged.
It's not like it's not Breaking Bad levels of excitement going on there,
No,
but
it keeps you
it's
engaged.
good.
It keeps you engaged. There's it ends every episode with a song, right? And still to this day, there's one of the episodes ends with this song from the Crystals, right? And it's he hit me and it felt like a kiss or some shit like that. I'm pretty sure that's the series that song I heard it from. And it was like my jaw was on the 50 song, and I was like, "What?"
It's crazy. No, it's
Fuck.
and I feel like
And it's a real fucking song.
It is, and so it's just a great series. But John Hamm again does just great work. I'm not the biggest fan of the series from beginning to end, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, but he kills it on that show when he shows up on that show as the.
I haven't watched that, but I should watch that too, because I saw previews and it was one of. Now I've seen previews of that other one you mentioned with Scary Horror, Drew Scary Horror there.
Yeah.
And it looks good.
Santa Clarita Diet.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're. I think Nurse Kathy is a big fan of that show too.
Oh, is she?
I think so. I think she was
Retired nurse.
Yes, retired Nurse Kathy. I think she's a big fan of that show, if I remember correctly.
No, I want to watch it. I just haven't yet.
No, it's
what holds me back. Really, what holds me back, and no matter how many people tell me I should watch it, it's because Drew Barrymore's in it.
Give it a shot.
And actually, Timothy Oliphant, like, it's almost a coin flip, like, as to whether, like, there's a lot of things I like about Timothy Oliphant, and there's a lot of things I'm like, dude's just really fucking bad. He's like a Nick Cage in a lot of ways.
And I agree, Shanga. Especially early on, it should be called the Titus Show. Talking about the Kimmy Schmidt, he steals the show. Him and John Hamm steal that show from me.
Is it Titus, like Chris Titus?
No,
Titus?
different Titus. But Stacy Keach on the Chris on the Titus Show is another one of those hilarious things. Okay, a couple more. I think I could go through the whole list, but Michael Dorn is also on it, as I mentioned before, playing Battle Beast, and
that shit was intense.
And
I can't wait to see Battle Beast and Omni Man fucking throw.
And you know it has to be coming, right? You know
it's never coming.
They're giving it to us.
It's never coming. That guy flashed away to a different fucking.
You think we'll never see him again?
I don't know. Brainiac fucking called him from somewhere. Where the fuck did he come from? Like, and then the dude was like,
There is no.
Why am I here to crush hands?
There is no. There's Worf. There is no honor in this place.
Where's Worf? No, you're not. He's off screen.
No, he's on screen. He's right where my finger is.
Oh, I'm not watching that. I'm watching.
Oh
that.
you don't actually get this. Yeah, I forget you.
Hold on. I got this. I had this. It's gone.
Oh, don't worry about it. Okay, so there's a couple of other voice actors that pop in, but the point is that this is this voice cast is packed. It's a great cast, great show. If you're not watching it, definitely watch Invincible. Catch up. We got 2 more episodes in the final season. Joe and I will touch in. We're going to be on here every other Sunday with Joe live on nights he has off of work, and I think so. The next time we're live with Joe, we'll probably be talking about a different topic. But
we'll see him again. Mandrell read this shit. He's. You think we are spoilers? This dude, he's in there. He's like, I read this shit.
He's tiptoeing around. He's laughing at us. He's like thinking at the things we're suggesting.
With the laugh out loud too. He's
like, yeah. I know. He's coming back. Don't you worry, assholes. So we have.
Here's the thing. I don't mind.
I don't mind.
I'm okay with spoilers.
Me too. Like you said, the minute these 2 episodes air, you're gonna go out and buy the compendium and read this shit.
Right. And here's the thing about the way I personally feel about spoilers is no matter how you explain it to me, no matter what surprise you ruin for me, and I'm gonna put that in quotes, the ruin. It's still not told, it's still not visualized, it's still not heard the way it's coming from my television or the movie or whatever it happens to be. Like have you heard this song? It's so good. Robert Plant's voice. Oh, and the line when he sings this, is that gonna spoil a song?
Joe, I know I get it to a certain extent though. Like, I mean, I think that's a different kind of example. But when something
it's vastly different, but in the same respect,
it depends. No, I hear you. I know you've never been big on that stuff, and I tend to agree with you for me as well. But I also get the perspective that some people just want to be shocked in what they see, especially in a series like this. They don't want to know that this all ends up with the fish guy being reincarnated in somehow defeating Battle Beast by drowning him with water.
Right.
Like, they don't want to know.
That
doesn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Right. In
I'm just making
that
it
respect, though, when I hear spoilers, to me, it's a game of operator. Right. It's even when you read the book and have read all of Game of Thrones, you still have fundamental differences between seasons 1 and 5 and books 1 and 5, and then don't even get me started on what's coming after 5 to 8. Right?
But let's just stick into this show. If someone had told you before watching that first episode, the conclusion of the episode, that excitement of that moment would have been ruined.
Well, here's the thing.
Were you expecting that? Were you thinking that at the end of the first episode that Omni Man was going to be ripping apart?
You don't remember my intro to You Need to Watch This Shit, Phil. So I went up to bed And I got in bed, and Katie was like, I'll be up in a few minutes. I got to brush my teeth or take a shower or whatever the fuck she was doing. And I'd been seeing the banner on my Amazon Prime for a couple of weeks, and I was like, okay, you know
From
what?
the makers of The Walking Dead.
No. All it said was Invincible, though. That's all I read was just the yellow and blue Invincible. And like, I saw that it was a cartoon. It looked like superhero shit, and it also looked like Justice League. And I was like, all right, Amazon's putting up some kid shit. All right, cool, I guess. And went on about my searching for something to watch. But that night, I went up to bed, and I was like, all right, here we go. Put it on and started to watch. By the time Katie came upstairs, I was sound asleep. And it was well before the end of that episode. She says to me the next day, so when she came in the room, she was like, what the fuck are you watching? I'm like, it's Invincible. Right? She
comes in and the scene comes on. She's like, what the shit are you watching?
No, not even that scene. Like, she was like, so the next day she's like, so this is like hours we've been like awake and going about our day. She was, oh yeah, so you fell asleep before that episode ended, right? And I'm like, yeah. And like, I actually kind of thought, like, you know, because halfway through that episode, it's the fucking Justice League, right? Like, there's nothing special about it. It's nothing. A lot of people are going to turn that shit off, most likely. Just like I passed out and never go back, right? Yep. And I passed out only because I was tired, I was in bed, and I had no clue what the fuck it was about to begin with. I didn't even know Robert Kirkman, nothing. I knew nothing about the shit. I didn't, John Hamm, nothing, right? And she goes, yeah, I don't know why I kept it on, because it was fucking bad. It was horrible. But I kept it on. And what the fuck?
Yeah.
You need to watch the rest of that episode.
Yeah, you need to finish it. Just finish the episode. Just
finish the, and we've watched every episode since.
Now,
like, so that's how that. So I didn't know that shit was coming.
Right, and it was better for your watching experience.
But I kind of knew something was coming.
Yeah, you could tell something was coming. Iron Throne says, spoiler alert, the song ends on a C chord. Full Spirit says, I get Joe. Also knowing the end of a movie or book can interest you more in how it happens that way, like seeing how they pull it off. James Elliott says, who would turn down Nick Cage's resume on their desk? Nobody!
Who would turn down Nick
Cage's resume on their desk? Nobody.
Nobody has turned it down. The dude makes more movies than fucking.
He's gonna be playing the Tiger King in an upcoming movie.
Oh my god!
Think about that. We're gonna review it, Joe. Vol Spirit spoilers only kill things. Hold your thoughts till it happens.
Check out Mercules. He's got a song. I'm gonna find this.
Spoiler alert, only kill the things based on a lot of surprises. James Elliott says, I'm still waiting on people to watch The Expanse so I can spoil it. Joe is caught up on The Expanse. I'm gonna catch up on it as well.
Oh yeah, our chat. I've been waiting. Did I talk about this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I got to catch up on the Expanse. We'll talk about that later. Iron Throne, # watch the fucking Expanse. Mo said, I'm mid-season, so shut the fuck up. With Space Jorah, Space Brienne, Space Lyanna, Space Jon Snow, Space Queen of Thorns. Pretty good show, but so far I was more into the first 3 seasons so far. Season 5 is where Vol is right now. So we have a voicemail. Let's play a voicemail right now. Don't play any songs and get the video flagged, Joe. YouTube's douchebags. You play like.
I'm not gonna play any songs.
Oh, I thought you said you were about to play a song or something.
No, I'm just gonna. Copy link address.
And put it in the chat. So.
And then paste that shit in the chat.
Yeah, paste that shit. In the
chat. Okay, nope. This is only a 65-second.
Okay, I'm gonna play a voicemail here. Let's check it out.
Hey Phil, it's Mandrill. Hey, listen, I just wanted to say that if you love the gore and graphic violence in this show, so far, compared to what's coming down the line, we've been watching Sesame Street. Okay? That's how big of a contrast it is from where it is now to where it's going to be.
Wow.
The show is fantastic. Well, The story's fantastic. Yes, it has been told already in its entirety. So yeah, you're in for a real treat. I'm glad you picked this one up. But you gotta get back and watch The Expanse once this is over, buddy. All right?
You're not the only one, Mandrell. Thank you for the voicemail, Mandrell. You're fucking awesome, my friend. Saying that if you're enjoying the violence up until this point, you're watching Sesame Street compared to where this show is eventually going, Joe.
Oh, really?
That's what Mandrell just said. If you're enjoying this now, it's like watching Sesame Street, where that's not a spoiler. It's what you call a tease. And also, Joe is on that list too. Joe's another person now, Mandrell, pushing me to watch the Expanse. I've got people on all sides of me pushing me to watch that. So perhaps tomorrow evening when I get home from work, I will sit down and watch episode 1 of The Expanse and start that shit. So not much else to say about Invincible. I think we've basically talked all about it tonight. Why you should be watching it. Catch up. Watch these final 2 episodes. Joe and I will be talking about this as much as we can. Maybe I'll do a quick reaction video, like a short pre-recorded video for the next 2 episodes for my thoughts on those. And then when we get Joe back in 2 weeks after the season finale, we'll talk about how the season ended, as well as a couple of other subjects that we can talk about. Maybe we'll finally get Joe's thoughts on some of the Game of Thrones prequel news that's coming up in a couple of weeks when we get Joe back. But anything else about Invincible that you haven't been able to say? That I think we've done a pretty good job from my end. Great series. What are you hoping for these final 2 episodes?
I want to know what the fuck is up.
Yeah,
Well,
you
what
want
do
to?
you mean? I want to know what everybody else wants to know. Why'd this motherfucker do it?
Yeah, why'd he do it?
And is he gonna go kill his wife?
Yeah. Does he kill his wife by the end of the season, do you think?
I don't see why not.
I mean,
Make the kid dependent solely upon him.
why wouldn't he have done it right there, though, when he punched the hole in the wall? I think he's at least conflicted.
Is he?
I don't know. Does he think of her, does he love her, or does he think of her as a pet?
I mean, that's the thing. Aren't we all to him?
Is
We all need protectors.
Is his son a pet too? Does he look at Invincible like that because Invincible's half human, or does he look at Invincible as his equal, as his potential
like
equal?
he was letting his kid die.
Yeah, well, in the fight with the battle with Michael Dorn with Worf, he's the one.
He would have let his kid die.
Yeah. And when he came to the hospital, he was like, I knew you would survive. Like, he did it almost to test him, to see how much damage he could actually take.
But like,
Oh,
he was gonna die.
Yes. Oh, Vol Spirit, to answer your question, do you guys have any info on the Lord of the Rings series $1 billion Amazon thing? The only info I've heard is it's going to be based on some of the stuff in the Silmarillion. Early stuff, first age stuff, I think is where it's going to be going. Joe and I will be talking about at least the premiere episode, and then we'll go from there if we're going to talk about it week to week. But we will be, or if Joe's working that week, I'll talk about the first episode, and then we'll catch up with Joe the following week. But that is a series we will be doing week to week. The only information I've heard about it is some early casting stuff, production stuff. A lot of the crew and production staff that worked on a lot of the early Game of Thrones, like Brian Cogman and some of those names, are working on this series. So and I have heard a lot of some of the character list, and where it's like, you know, Sauron's gonna be there, and and his boss, and all of that sort of shit. So we gotta get Dworkin on here to enlighten us more, because he's more of the Tolkien expert in our little crew of friends. I think more than Joe or I from the stuff.
I never read the book.
Right,
I tried a dozen times.
I've listened to
sat down and got to page 25 like a dozen times. I was like, fucking, I can't read.
Yeah, I've listened to the you're not derailing the conversation. We're at the end of the conversation, Vol Spirit. This is the wrap up. Any questions are okay of any direction, not just about Invincible.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't ever really matter.
Not on this part. Not on this show. It doesn't. We live for asides. Send us in a direction. We love getting off topic. It's part of the fun here.
Don't ever like throw a random quote in that has nothing to do with anything but kind of fits.
Yeah, we don't ever do that. So I guess nothing more to say. What I want to see in the final 2 episodes, obviously, I want to see why. I want to see Invincible find out the truth about his dad. I think that's probably a good place to leave the end of the season on.
No, it isn't.
No,
I want to find out the truth about his dad. I don't care about Invincible finding out the truth.
I want to see that. I want to see what his reaction is, and I also
no. I want to see Invincible. Okay, this you want to. I want to see Omni kill fucking Invincible's mom.
Sick fuck.
Right? Straight up
you
fucking
sick
murk the
fuck.
bitch, right? How dare you talk back to me, woman? I am the savior of your goddamn planet. And kill her. And kill her. And kill her. Right?
He does
and then,
one of these days, bang pow right to the moon, and he actually does it. He like knocks her to the moon.
Yep. No, not because I'm a fan or I want any kind of domestic violence. I think that's atrocious and appalling. But then he could, like, I don't know, control his son better.
I don't know where you're going with this.
He can mind control his son.
No,
better.
I hear you, because then he doesn't have the other half
opposing
who's teaching him humanity, which is what he doesn't want. He wants to keep his son as unfocused on being a human. That's why in the couple of episodes ago, he didn't want him doing like simple everyday things. Stop a comet, stop a whatever. Don't get to know people and give a shit about people. That's just messy.
Right. They aren't.
You're beneath.
People,
yeah, that's
yes.
beneath you. I think is what
They're
I think
puppies.
is the exact words.
You can't be friends with all the puppies.
James Elliott, I miss Siskel and Ebert as well. So what do we give this Invincible so far? I give it thumbs up. 1 thumbs up from me, Joe. You give it a
I do. I like it. I really, really fucking like it.
Mikey likes
here's
it.
The thing. I definitely see Omni as being no different than Homelander in the respect of, like, I ain't going to be able to save this plane. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think somewhere, in my opinion, somewhere, somehow, he's a better person than Homelander in the sense that he's not, because I think I've said this before, Homelander is off balance, is crazy, is acting on instinct. This guy's acting on orders, I think, and I see some conflict in him with his wife, and thinks he loves in some sort of. I think there's a good guy in there somewhere. Maybe at one point in time he wasn't dissimilar to Invincible, and something changed him.
He's upset that she found out, not that she's upset.
Fair. It's gonna be really fun watching this series and seeing it unfold. And I think, yes, there's only 2 episodes left, and I will be talking about each individual episode, or at minimum, Joe and I, like I said, in 2 weeks, we'll be talking about this. But similar to The Boys, the next time that this series comes out, when season 2 drops, Joe and I will do episode by episode reactions to it. There's so much that happens in each individual episode that, even though we've talked about this for almost 2 hours and we've broken this apart, I still feel like this show deserves each episode.
We haven't talked about anything. We haven't talked about plot. We haven't, like, we talked about what Omni did.
Right, exactly.
And we talked about that there is
each
every week has its own villain, but we haven't talked about what.
Right. This is a show that would really benefit, like, breaking down each individual episode. James says I give it an adult thumbs up. Changa says he killed an entire planet. It's true. He did. He's fucking crazy. He is.
Did he kill the entire planet?
Those green dudes no longer exist, says Changa. I'm not sure if he did. They do either, because when he left, he dropped that big fucking thing on, I think, the last living group of them. So it's very possible he completely annihilated that. He reigns a Castamere, that entire fucking planet of people.
How did he get home?
He had them open the portal, and then he, like, dropped it on their heads. So, I I guess this is about it. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Joe and I will be back in 2 weeks to talk more stuff for another Sunday Night Live, and we'll be talking about the season finale and what happens in these last 2 episodes, what we hope for the next season of this. Also have a couple of other topics for next Sunday. Mandrell says, you guys still don't know what the actual plot is yet. That's the funny part.
That's correct. I don't.
And
that's why we haven't talked about
you
it.
bastard. I love you, Mandrell. I love having one person that has self-control in the chat that knows what's happening, just sort of baiting us with it. Like you guys, nope, you don't quite got it yet.
Like, why you should watch this is so you could tell us what the fuck is going on.
Exactly. We'll see you back here when we actually get to find out what
this podcast was about. It wasn't about us spoiling it for you. It was about you to get to fucking juice us with the deets.
Yeah, exactly. You can get Joe at joedirtylocks@gmail.com if he'll happily accept spoilers. He brought peace to this planet just like the Death Star. He forced the last of them to make a portal for him to go home, and then he killed them. Yeah, that's what I thought happened as well. He did. So they haven't officially revealed the plot. So everyone, if you enjoyed this discussion, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Share the channel and share this video with friends. And if you haven't already watched Invincible and this wasn't enough, even though we spoiled the shit out of what happened so far this season, it's still worth watching. And I will be back next Sunday evening, possibly alone, possibly with someone to talk about some subject as well. And yeah. So Joe, anything else? Any last minute stuff that you didn't get a chance to say about this show?
About this show? Nope.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So everybody, thank you so much. Another awesome Sunday Night Live. You guys make this so much fun for us. You guys are amazing, and we will be back very, very soon. Joe, see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, subscribe to me on Twitch to watch some video game playthroughs. I'll also be on with Tony and the rest of the Usual Suspects podcast on Wednesday night. And also we will be joined by the Direwolf podcast, Gray Areas podcast. We'll be talking about Euron Greyjoy, and then on Friday night we'll be on Gray Areas channel talking about Stannis. Predictions for Winds of Winter is the topic. So if you want to check that out, we'll be on Teflon TV on Wednesday evening at 7:30 this week, and on Gray Areas at 10 o'clock next week.
Did I spoil?
No, there's no spoiler. There's no spoiler. That's Game of Thrones spoilers. That's not Winds of Winter spoiler. Invincible is now on my list. Thank you guys for the chat, Vols. I think you're gonna like it, and hopefully, if you do, we'll see you back here in a couple weeks to talk about the season finale if you end up catching up. Yeah. And yeah, we will. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Before everybody goes, one last thing. I like how AMC and now Amazon Prime has lined up to make it so that we can end the show together.
Yeah, make it show. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Good night, guys.